teamwork right there. Is what
that is teamwork.
That is the fattest bad drive I've ever seen.
What's up, guys? We are out here on an apparently windy day. Literally drove around the corner here from town and the wind is howling. It wasn't even blowing in town. So hopefully the sound is not terrible. I'll do what I can to clean it up.
Oh yeah, we're shooting pumpkins today.
Yeah, I've been holding on to these pumpkins since Halloween, and so yeah, we're gonna come shoot them today. But anyway, the real important part about today is we're gonna do a 5 video, maybe 6, we'll see how long the videos end up being, series on start to finish how we hunt coyotes. This isn't a how-to, this is a how we do it. There's 1,000 different ways to do it, and everybody does it slightly differently. Don't think that this is the only way to do it, but this is how we've had success, and these are the things that we like to do. Okay guys, let's try this again. The wind's not quite as bad here, but it's still kind of gusty, so apologies for the sound. The goal for today is to step by step go through and show you guys how we find a place to hunt, plan for the weather, plan our routes, parking the truck, hiding the truck, getting out of the truck, basically start to finish all the way through the process. I'll make a list kind of the steps that we go through to make sure that we're efficient with our time. Yes, the first thing to go over, planning our route. First thing we do, guys, is we start looking at the weather. Here's the 3 main weather apps we use. I like the point and click on National Weather Service for your general weather for up to 7 days out. I like WeatherBug for the hourly and the 10-day forecast. It's not super accurate, but their radar is really good. And we really like SailFlow for the wind. Every weather station in the country shows up on their map and it shows you exactly what your winds are doing in every area. We also use OnX for their maps and a lot of their weather services. And we generally start looking about 4 to 5 days out for the weather. What we're looking for on the weather is wind less than 10 miles an hour. Preferably in our area of the country, we like the wind out of the north if at all possible, purely because on a sunny day, when you're driving north into your stands, you're driving into the wind, and you can come up over the hill into your stand with the wind in your face. You can do east-west routes, but we prefer a south-north if at all possible, especially on sunny days. Now on a day like today, where it's cloudy, it doesn't honestly really matter because you can face any direction you want. The wind direction doesn't matter as much on those days, but we don't get those down here very often. We get those maybe 10, 12 days a year. 2 years ago, we couldn't get a cloudy day to save our lives. We try to plan our routes according to the sun. And in the morning, obviously, we want to be driving from east to west so that we're driving away from the sun. So we're making our stands, the sun's at our back. 2 reasons for that. One is it's easier to see. 2, it shades you out and the coyotes are looking into the sun, so it's harder to see you. But all possible, that's the way we try to plan our routes. And then in the evenings, in the wintertime down here, you're looking at about 3 o'clock-ish is when the sun starts to break over that center line of south-north, and then you want to start planning your routes from west to east in the afternoons. So along with the weather, you need to find a place to hunt. Once you've found a good weather day or a day that you can go, preferably it's a good weather day, then you want to figure out where you're going to go hunt. We know the areas around here very well. We've been doing this for years. We know where the coyotes are at. We know where people hunt a lot. The key is trying to find a place where no one has been yet. You cannot call coyotes in, at least regularly, in an area that's been hunted to crap. They just won't come in. Just because they're there doesn't mean they're going to come in. First thing we look for is an area where there's lots of coyotes. We kind of mentioned it in some videos earlier this year. We look for turds in the road, scat. Garrett likes to say poop. I like to say turds, whatever. Call it whatever you want. After that, we want to find areas where we know that there's cattle or antelope or other wildlife, a lot of it. The major one for us is cattle, because if there's cattle in the desert, that means there's water nearby. And if there's water nearby, that's a feed source for all of the other animals, the prey animals, the squirrels, the rabbits, the chipmunks, the birds, everything that the coyotes feed on is there around those water sources, so there's more coyotes around it. In different areas of the country, you can hunt right next to the cows. Other areas, you can't, like back in eastern Colorado. You start calling next to the cows, those cows are going to come running into that call as fast as the coyotes do, and then they just circle around you, and then you can't shoot because you got cows all around you. There's a couple spots in Nevada we've done that. The only way you're going to find that stuff out, guys, is to get out there and do it. So all the stuff we're telling you right now isn't a surefire way to get things done. It's the basics. Once you found a place to hunt, you need to figure out how to hide the truck. You guys have some examples. Why don't you tell us of an example of not hiding the truck?
Yeah, you'll see it in the video.
Which one are we talking
talk
about?
I don't know. There was one the other day I edited.
We were lazy, and it was the one spot they could see the truck, but we took our chances. And of course, you know how that goes. And sure enough, it came on that side, stopped, looked at the truck, and it left. So make sure you hide the truck 100%. Don't just say, oh, it should be good. If you think it's not good, it's not good.
Here, guys, is one of the examples of not hiding the truck well. You can see the coyote out there in the distance, and he came right at the one spot where he could look through the gap in the hills behind them and see the truck. Here's another example, guys. This one kind of came backdoor and was looking right at the truck. That's what he's looking at right there. All right, so hiding the truck, guys, we prefer kind of rolling terrain. Obviously, right here, it's a little steeper than we like, but we had to get out of the wind to show you guys. I had a great plan for today, and it didn't work. We like that little bit of rolling terrain. That way, when you're driving towards your stand, nothing on the other side of the ridge can see you drive into the stand. It's not to say you can't do it. We do it all the time. It's just not near as effective. So that's what we prefer. Pull up to a ridge. How far do you have to walk from the truck? Doesn't matter. I'll show you guys a clip just a second. I'm literally from here to my truck right now. What is that? 10 feet, 15 feet, just over a little rise. And that's all the further we went. We shot and killed a coyote on that stand.
So a lot of people ask us all the time, how far do you got to walk away from the truck? Is it 100 yards, 500 yards? How far is it? Well, I'm going to show you. It's Micah's stuff right where he was sitting. Less than 10 yards away, there's the truck.
That's teamwork right there is what that
is. Teamwork, dude.
You've got to keep in mind, especially in that flat terrain. So when you're looking out back at your truck from your stand to see if you can see it, two things to keep in mind. Is there a ridge out there that a coyote's going to come over and be higher than you where he can see the truck? And the other one, let me show you guys a perspective here. I'm going to steal the camera now. So this isn't a great example, but I'll show you anyway. Okay, right here at my eye level, obviously I can see Tim's truck. I'm 6 feet tall. A coyote is not 6 feet tall. If I go down like this at coyote level, I can no longer see Tim's truck. I can see the truck. I can't see the truck. So when you're trying to hide the truck in that flat rolling terrain, get the perspective of a coyote because that's what he's gonna see. And make sure that there's not a big tall ridge behind you that they can get up and get some elevation on you. Okay, you can have it back now. So once you've found a place to hunt, you've checked the weather, you've planned your route, and you're headed out and you're gonna make your first stand. Hide the truck very well, obviously, and when you get out of the truck, don't slam your doors. When you slam a door, especially on a quiet day, that sound echoes forever, and it's, depending on whether they've been called or not, that is a key sound for coyotes knowing that there's people in the area. They hear cars all the time because wherever they're at, they're gonna hear vehicles drive by, but it's the vehicle stopping. If you ever stop to try and shoot at a crow or something off the side of the road, the second you stop, they're gone. Well, a coyote's gonna hear a door slam and probably not gonna come to a call. It's not saying they're not. Obviously, none of these are hard, fast rules, just things to help you out. What did Garrett say to you earlier this year when you accidentally let one slam? Rookie move or amateur or something like that? I don't know.
He got out and gave me the death look.
The death stare. Yeah. So on my truck, guys, the door doesn't stay open very well, especially on a hillside. When you get out of the truck, don't let the door slam. Try not to bang around with your gear and stuff. If you want to talk, that's fine, especially if you got a little ridge. If you're going into a flat area, I wouldn't even bother talking. Like I showed you guys a couple videos ago in the crunchy snow. Crunchy snow is terrible, especially on a calm day, because they can hear those footsteps coming in. It just puts them on alert. It doesn't mean that they're not going to come in, but it puts them on alert, lets them know something is going on that's outside the ordinary. So when you're walking into a stand, obviously you're coming up over a ridge. Try not to skyline yourself, guys. You obviously are going to have to most times for some extended time, but don't walk parallel along the top of a ridge, because those coyotes that are close, the ones that you're going to call in the first 3 to 5 minutes, they're only a few hundred yards out there. And if they hear anything and they're looking that direction and they see you walk across that skyline, they're not going to come in. They know something's up immediately, or if they do come in, they're going to hang up at 400 or 500 yards and try to get downwind. That brings us to our next point, wind. How do you set up with the wind? Well, guys, hopefully that helps out a little bit. That's the basics of at least getting into your stand and everything generally that we do. The next video, we'll go over setting up on your stand and figuring out basically the right ways to set up, the wrong ways to set up, and what to do in some of the different situations. So stay tuned and we'll have a few more videos to come. Thanks for watching, guys.